Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
If you're thinking about donating to victims of the shooting in Las Vegas, you're being urged to use caution. In a matter of days, millions of dollars have been donated to those impacted by the tragedy. If you're feeling moved to give yourself, don't get fooled into making a donation to the wrong place. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson explains how some people are taking advantage of a sad situation.
Scrolling through Facebook or Twitter, you're bound to see these faces. Faces of those hurt or killed in the Las Vegas shooting. Reading their stories may have you grabbing for your credit card information. At least that was the case for this Michigan woman.
I was excited and just pushed the buttons, just a little bit too fast.
Since she couldn't donate blood, she donated $50 to a GoFundMe page. But her $50 didn't go to victims.
You could see it wasn't set up by them, and there was only $10 other donated, and that triggered me that I had the wrong site.
Sadly, she's not the only one who's fallen for a fake story.
Anybody can set up a GoFundMe page.
They see it all the time at the Better Business Bureau.
This is the legitimate one, $9 million.
Heather Johnson says GoFundMe is good about taking down scam accounts, but does very little to vet people who set them up.
Check for grammatical errors, spelling errors. If there are things that jump out at you and that you think that's not quite right, take a deeper look.
Johnson says only 30% of people actually do research on a person or organization before donating, meaning you could easily wind up in a situation like this Michigan woman.
That people actually try to take advantage of something like this, a tragedy so bad, and then just try to profit off of that. It's disgusting.
Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Now, there is one major GoFundMe page set up to help the shooting victims. That site has been verified and it is safe to donate to. If you want to donate another way, we have tips on our website to be sure you don't get fooled. Log on to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. We have an update for you tonight on the North Dakota man and former UND baseball star that was injured in the mass shooting in Las Vegas. According to Andrew Goodmanson's father, Andrew is on a long road to recovery. After 3 surgeries, Andrew has and will remain sedated to prevent the immense pain of his injuries. A 4th surgery is expected, but the date of that is unknown at this time, as doctors are taking precautions on a day-to-day basis. A prayer vigil will be held tonight in Kindred to honor the lives lost from the Las Vegas shooting, as well as the victims from the recent hurricanes. It's going to start a little under an hour from now at the Kindred City Park on the east side of town. Organizers say everyone's welcome to offer support for all those affected by the recent tragedies that have taken so many lives. Look for coverage tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. A federal jury has found a man guilty of murder. Prosecutors argued that Modesto Torres ordered the hit that killed a 24-year-old outside the Flying J truck stop in Grand Forks last year and led a meth trafficking ring in the region. He was convicted of 3 of the 4 counts he was facing. Torres will be sentenced December 1st. New federal legislation aimed at protecting Native American women from violence, abduction, and human trafficking has been named after Savannah Graywin, the Fargo woman who was killed in August. U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp introduced what's called the Savannah Act today in Washington. She says the legislation would improve tribal access to certain federal crime information databases. Heitkamp believes this will help solve crimes and develop prevention strategies. The bill would also create standardized protocols for responding to cases of missing and murdered Native Americans. Meanwhile, court documents show that Brooke Cruz will be heading to Jamestown, North Dakota to undergo a mental health evaluation. Cruz is one of 2 people charged in connection with Savannah Graywin's death. There's no word yet as to when the evaluation will take place. Our weather remains quiet with steady fall-like temperatures. Pretty nice out there. Let's find out from Hutch if there's any change expected tonight. Hutch?
Looks like we're going to see a repeat performance from our atmosphere, and the first thing that comes to mind was morning lows this morning were very crisp up along the international border, with Langdon and Cando in the 20s and low 30s for hours A freeze there with frost elsewhere. Tonight, more of the same frost advisory. Devil's Lake Basin, Central Red River Valley, not including Fargo-Moorhead. But Detroit Lakes and Park Rapids, you're in a frost advisory tonight. Cover up those tender plants. A freeze warning in north central Minnesota where you see the purple. Temperatures this evening, quiet. Wind, quiet. Sunset, as you can see behind me, quite gorgeous. It does look like we'll have more cold weather to contend with as we go through the next 7 days, and I'll have an update on that for you here in a moment, Mike.
All right, thanks, Hutch. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with any weather, anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. A man from Cathay, North Dakota is dead after he was hit by a train in Wells County this morning. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the 61-year-old failed to yield for the train about 11 miles northwest of New Rockford. He was pronounced dead at the scene of the crash, which remains under investigation. When a Minnesota man was picked up for his 28th DWI, he was caught with a valid driver's license. Minnesota does not have a lifetime ban on eligibility for licenses. One prosecutor says, unlike some states that no doubt would have totally banned Danny Betcher from driving long ago, Minnesota only revokes licenses for a period of time. Betcher is likely looking at about 5 years in prison if he's convicted on this latest DWI arrest. The North Dakota legislature is moving forward with its lawsuit against Governor Doug Burgum. This stems from line-item vetoes done by the governor after the close of the last legislative session. The legislative committee vote was not unanimous, but it was certainly enough to move forward. In response, the governor said that the intent of the vetoes was to protect executive branch authority, preserve the separation of powers, and prevent spending of scarce state resources without full legislative review. In Jamestown, the Salvation Army there has been collecting coats for its annual coat drive, Coats for Kids. Major Terry Nada reports that they have received a nice number of coats, which will be distributed to kids in need starting this weekend. She says that quite a few have been donated, and she'll be counting and sorting them soon to find out just how many are usable. You can donate coats at the Jamestown Salvation Army office. It's located at 320 First Avenue North. Now, they're going to be handed out from 9 in the morning until noon and 2 in the afternoon until 4 in the afternoon, October 9th through the 12th. The challenges are there in rural North Dakota to provide necessary mental health services. Later on Valley News Live at 6, what's being done in one school district in the Valley? Up next, a local man says he was taken advantage of in a multi-level marketing scheme.